Woo! We are almost there, y'all. Please take a moment and make some noise for my band, For the Culture. Hey, here come the men in black. Y'all looking mighty fine over there,
Likewise,
sirs.
dear. Likewise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So listen, today I want y'all to step out of your comfort zones and embrace the magnificent possibilities that await you. Let the stories shared today ignite your spirit, reignite your dreams, and empower you to chase your passions with unyielding fervor. And with that, let's get this show started! Let's get it started! It's Thursday. Our next guest is a remarkable individual whose life's journey has been shaped by resilience and the determination to overcome adversity. Through hardships and challenges, she has emerged as a source of inspiration, using her experiences to empower others. Y'all welcome Jernisha Layssard. Please have a seat. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you here.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm wonderful. How about you?
I'm great. I'm nervous.
Are you nervous? I
Yes,
see you
ma'am.
brought your phone out here and everything. Who you gonna talk to?
I don't know.
So listen, we are so delighted to have you here. Could you tell me what made this moment in your life the right time to share your story?
Like every time I share it with somebody, like on the road or like, cause I drive trucks, so let me go back. I'm a Long Island, like I'm a professional truck driver.
I
so
love it.
Every time I share my story, it's kind of like it's making an impact. Somebody said like, you know, like whatever I say, it makes them feel different about life. So it's kind of like the more I share it, the more I feel like what I went through is for somebody else. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's for somebody else. So why not share it?
So your test is a testimony.
Yes, and it's only a testimony if you testify.
Ooh, you better come on, and you are here to testify. Thank you. So how did your upbringing significantly influence your development as an adult? What would you like me to call you, Jernisha or Gigi?
Gigi.
Gigi! All right, so Gigi, can you please tell me, how did your upbringing significantly influence your development?
I grew up in foster care. I was a physically abused child, sexually abused. It was a lot, you know. Kind of like it shaped me. At first, I used to kind of look at it like it was like more so like a curse. Because why did I have to go through everything so young? But now, like I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, everything I went through was for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's to help somebody else.
Yes.
Like I went through these trials and tribulations to help someone else.
So tell us about the test, that's a testimony that you're testifying about. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. And you were in foster care.
Yes, ma'am.
And so from being in foster care, how did you find yourself in this situation where you were being abused? And what age were you?
It started when I was 1 year old, but I don't really remember that part.
Right.
I only remember 3 and 4, like those ages.
Wow.
But my mom, my biological mom, she used to give us black eyes and like send us to daycare. It was crazy. It was a lot. Like.
So it was your own mother?
Yes, ma'am.
That was abusing you physically?
Yes, ma'am.
And then would send you to daycare?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did this go on? Because of course daycares, they have to report
Right.
when children come
She would, they would come take us, and then she would follow through with the family care plan, and she would literally get us back about 2-3 weeks later.
Are you serious?
This was a repetitive cycle, yes.
Was there ever a moment you said, hey, I don't want to go back with her?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
And they didn't listen to you?
No.
Wow. So can you reflect on how the hardships you've faced have played a role in shaping your character? The person, the woman you are today? Everything that you've been through, how has it made you who you are today?
The good and the bad?
The good and the bad, yes.
It was, as I look at it, it's like character development. Like everything I went through is just character development. Like because we tend to like look at the bad experiences like this is hindering us, or like you're looking at somebody else's life and you're like, well, why I don't have that and why I don't have this, but it's like, I'm sorry, I might start crying,
It's okay,
but it's more so like
talk to me.
I don't know, it's like it's all a part of God's plan, mainly.
Amen. They say he won't put more on us than we can bear. But sometimes it feels unbearable,
Yes,
doesn't
ma'am.
it? Can you reflect and share the journey that led you to your current position as a motivational speaker? Because now you get in front of other people and encourage them. And sometimes you find that the pain you've gone through, there's definitely, not sometimes, there's always purpose in pain. What do you share with people as a motivational speaker?
Just to embrace every challenge. Embrace them.
Even if it deals with the kind of pain you had to endure as a young child.
Yes, ma'am. Embrace it.
What advice would you offer to individuals who are facing adversity, battling depression, fearing failure, or going through a rough patch in their lives? To just face it?
Embrace it.
Embrace it.
Yes.
How do you embrace so much?
You have to, because, it's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I know this sounds cliche, because I used to be like that. Like, why do people say that?
When people said it to you, you were just like, whatever.
Like, why?
Yes.
Like, why are you saying it? But it makes sense. It is always light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to make it through the tunnel.
Wow.
So that tunnel is actually those challenges.
Yes. Yes. Have you, in your life, since you went through all of the challenges, felt like you've gone through triggers as an adult that make you kind of like go back in that moment where you felt desperate and fearful and in need of protection and love?
Yes, ma'am, all the time.
All the time.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are some of the triggers and how do you handle them? Because you're speaking to other people now to help them get through their lives. How do you handle it? Because experience is the best teacher, as we've learned. How do you teach them to get through those triggers? And what are some of those triggers?
Just like abandonment, mainly. I didn't even tell my full story. But
Please take your time and talk to me. I'm here. Our viewers want to hear your story. Testify.
It's like, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's every day. Like, it's not a constant battle, but it's every day. Like, it's kind of like not a trigger, but knowing like people, places, and things. Like, I'm gonna say it like that. It's like people in general. Like, they don't know. Like, you can say the wrong thing to somebody and you can set them off.
Yes.
Like you never know what a person is going through.
That's right.
So it's kind of like I try to lately, like that's what I'm teaching myself. Like, I have to be careful and be mindful of how I interact with others because I never know. And I was once, like going through so much like depression and stuff like this. Like, I used to have thoughts of, like unreal thoughts sometimes. So it's kind of like I look at it from that angle. Like, I was once this person, so I need to go out and share love in the world.
Yes. It's beautiful to be that light. So when you say, I want to go back a little bit, if you don't mind, and we were talking about your mother intentionally abusing you. Did she ever tell you why she did? Did you ever have an understanding as to why she would do that?
No, ma'am. I was a kid.
You didn't deserve it. I'm telling you that. But, hurt people. So I'm trying to understand where might her hurt have come from to transfer that pain to you, her children, her babies that God give us to protect. Children are special. They should be protected. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm just trying to understand why. Why? Was it drugs involved? Was it Okay, come on. If you're going to tell the story, like Usher said, you got to tell it all. This is your confession. You're going to have to tell it.
When I was 1, like I said, I don't
Right, you don't remember that part, yeah.
I just know what the state of Louisiana told us, the paperwork.
Yes.
She used to put shots in our arms and put us to sleep. Like, it's a lot, but more so going to what I remember. That's how I know about the drugs, but going to what I remember, like the black eyes, like I said, going to daycare with that. Like, my brother bit me on my stomach. Like, it's a lot. I got a little small dent in my forehead. My mom had threw a high heel shoe at me when I was younger. And then it gets worse because she used to like tell, because I used to ask my grandma a lot, like, why nobody came to get me? Like, you know, like, why everybody left me? And it was like my grandma was like, my mom was telling everybody that they were deceased, my dad's side. So it was a misunderstanding about that. And my grandma said she ran into my mom's cousin at Walmart. And they ended up telling her the situation. So my grandma showed up at court. And my grandma ended up getting custody of me.
Thank you,
so,
Jesus.
Me and my grandma, we ended up going through a bad car accident. And she ended up being in a coma for 2 weeks. And my dad came and got me from the hospital. And my dad ended up taking a job in Mobile, Alabama, and left me like with his other child's mother. And she called CPS. She was just saying, hold on, I'm sorry.
Hey, sweetheart, it's okay. It's okay.
You know, she was saying like I wasn't her child. She didn't want to keep me, you know. And I understand now. Like, I understand. At first I was like, wow. But they got in contact with my dad, CPS, and they was like, hey, are you able to get Jernisha, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he's not able to take care of his responsibilities right now. So I went back to foster care. I was age 5.
He just up and left you?
I was age 5.
I'm so sorry.
So I went to foster care, and I stayed in foster care for about 3 years. And my biological auntie came and got me, and she moved me to Georgia. I lived with her for about 6 months. She said I had a behavior problem because I used to be real bad. I had an anger problem. I did. And she took me back. She put me back in foster care. It's like everybody was just giving up.
I'm so sorry. Ooh, Jesus. So it's understandable that you would have an anger problem with so much going on in your life since you were 1 year old. What can we expect next from you? You're doing so many wonderful things. I know life has been hard and you think everybody gave up on you, but God was there. Isn't it amazing when no one's there for you? You can always count on Him. Who introduced you to Him? Because you told me that you love the Lord. Where did you find Him? When did you find Him in your life?
I had Him when I was younger, but I veered off. I think we all do that. We all veer off.
I'm a PK. We do. We all veer off.
We all veer off. In 2020, I ended up getting into a little incident, and I ended up going to jail. Now I look at it like it's identity. It was just an identity crisis, but God was trying to get my attention. Because I was headed down the wrong road. He was like, He stopped me. Let me redirect you right quick. But I wasn't listening, so He had to. And the incident, it actually worked out in my favor. Like, it's nothing on my record.
That's good.
But I started getting closer to God in that moment. It was like every day I was just seeking Him.
Yes.
What they say, Matthew 6:33.
Come on.
Seek ye.
Yes.
That's what I started doing. And it's like the closer I started getting to Him, the more I started realizing it was something bigger in my life. It was the reason I went through everything, like even the jail situation. Everything had a purpose. Like He made everything add up.
Yes.
Everything.
Like only He can. Now, with all of this happening in your life, you decided to take a pen and put it on paper. You have a book. Tell us about your book.
It's not an autobiography, but it is.
Okay.
It's more so I read a lot of self-help books, self-help. Excuse me, I can't
That's
even talk.
okay.
I read a lot of like personal development books. So I feel like that's what I'm writing. And it's more so I'm just using certain experiences in my life and kind of not making laws or rules, just saying like, this is what I learned from this. And if you apply this to life, this is the outcome.
Yes.
But it was my outcome. Everybody's experience is different.
But you sharing your outcome will change so many people. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't y'all go nowhere. I'm here with Gigi. If you are at work, at home, y'all drop everything and tune in because it's time for the Sisaundra Show!
Yeah!
Listen, I'm just kidding. Don't y'all get fired. Don't drop everything at work. Listen, speaking of fired, y'all